Yes, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever, good brunch, wherever you are in the world. Hello, welcome back to Football Heritage TV. Today, got a show packed full of facts, F-A-C-T-S. Listen, Stel, welcome to the show. How you doing? You good? You well?
Yeah, as good as can be, supporting Spurs. I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to some truth bombs.
Absolutely. Listen, and I just want to start. Listen, I've had a lot of emails. I know you get them. I've had a lot of emails. I've had a lot of YouTube messages in the last sort of 48, 72 hours going, oh, you and your facts, you manipulate them. Sure, of course, I am able to manipulate 9 to 10 months worth of facts. You hate Ange. Well, it's not that I hate Ange. I just don't think he's that good a manager. I'm not watching your channel anymore. Okay, cool. See yourself out. It's absolutely fine. I only want real people here. So what I decided to do still, and I told you I was going to do this, I wanted to put together a lot of facts. I knew my wife would call me right now. We'll call her back in a minute. Hello, I'll call you back. There you go. That's the message I'll send to her. I'll call you back. Not even a kiss or anything. Right, so I wanted to put together some facts that don't just talk about Ange. I wanted to have a look, Stel, as far back without being ridiculous, right? I didn't want to, there was no point going back to the days of Jerry Francis, like in the 90s. What we've done is compiled a lot of facts that go back to 2008. And basically, those facts are in line with Harry Redknapp's tenure, Andre Villas-Boas, Mauricio Pochettino, Jose Mourinho, Antonio Conte, and Ange Postecoglou. Now, what I've done is, and we're going to bring this up in a little bit, we won't jump straight into it, is I've broken it down into two parts. One part I've broken down into each of those managers, their last 31 games at Tottenham before they were snipped. The other part is their overall record at Tottenham in terms of transfers, money spent, win ratios, all that kind of stuff. Because the reason I've done this, and let me first explain, sorry, Stel, I've just got to make this clear because I know that people will watch this and not understand. The reason why I've done 31 games is I think I know through using my eyes and through using facts that the last 9 to 10 months at Tottenham have been really poor, no matter how we want to gloss over it, right? Since that opening 10 games of the season, the 31 Premier League games that have preceded that, the facts are not good, right? You can all cry, not everyone, but people can cry. People can say I've got an agenda. I don't know what that means, but I've got an agenda. People can say that I'm just negative. People can say that, oh, you just want another manager out. Sure, I'm just presenting facts. And the reason I'm showing this is I want to show what led up to these other managers getting the sack. And I want to see, I'm not saying sack him still. I'm going to put that right now. I'm not sitting here saying sack him. But I need Spurs fans to realise that when they're going on other YouTube channels, when they're sitting in these chats and they're spouting about he's made us better at what? Right? He's made us better. I see the plan. Everything's better. Look where we were when he joined to now. Sure. So let's have a look and let's debunk some of these myths, right? So guys and girls, if you've got glasses, now would be the time. And again, this isn't negative or positive. This is just facts. So first of all, big up to everyone in the chat. I won't go through all your names, but all the usual characters are here. Keep it clean, keep it football. And I think some of these facts are going to surprise you. I think when I showed Stel backstage, a few of them were like, oh, okay. Bearing in mind, this is the best manager we've had in years, apparently. Right, so I'll bring this up. Now, there's a lot of information, as you know, Stel. And I'll just explain it, and I promise I'll shut up in a minute and let you talk. Now, guys, anything you see in red, that is the facts from the last 31 games that those managers had as Tottenham Hotspur manager. Premier League. This is not FA Cup, Champions League, Europa League, League Cup. This is their last 31 Premier League games. So you can see there that we've got wins, losses, draws, goals for, goals against, goal difference, the number of, clean sheets in those last 31 games, defeats in the last 10 games, points in those last 31 games, and the win percentage of the last 31 games. Then in black, that is their overall record, the managers, in terms of their total win rate, their total games played. That's total, not just Premier League. Money spent, number of signings, and average fee per player. Stel, I'll shut up. That's a lot of information there. What jumps out at you immediately about this? And this doesn't have to be about Ange. This can be about any manager, the ownership, where we are as a club, whatever you want to go at. What does this mean to you?
Defensively, he's horrendous. And I'm not exaggerating when I say the word horrendous. He is horrendous. 13 losses. That's the worst of any. Double that of Villas-Boas and Redknapp.
Yeah.
Goals against is on another level. 53 goals conceded compared to what? Redknapp, Villas-Boas, Poch, Mourinho in the 30s. So it's 20 goals worse.
Yep.
Clean sheets, miles off of the others by a country mile. So when we're looking at goals against, goal difference, clean sheets, all the defensive metrics, this guy is a clown. And if that's what's affecting the win rate. So the win rate's low because actually attacking wise, he's quite good. If you look at the attacking wise, goals 458, second best. We score a lot of goals with Ange, but to score the second amount of goals out of all the six, to be the second highest in goal scoring out of these six managers, but to have the lowest win rate, the second lowest win rate,
right?
Means defensively, he's absolutely inept. So we can question lack of creativity. We can question why don't we put away easy chances in certain games. But overall, most games we're fine. But the defense is trash. And what's most alarming, the most alarming thing about the defensive stats are Udogie, Porro, Vicario, Romero, and Van der Ven apparently are the best back four we've had since Poch.
Right. Well, look, let's go into that. And first of all, anybody asking, where's Nuno? Nuno didn't play enough games to be in this mix. I think Nuno had, 12 league games? 10 league games? Pointless me sticking him in. By the way, I believe off the top of my head that Nuno's win rate was 50%. I'm pretty sure. I think he won 6 and lost 6 or something ridiculous.
If Nuno goes in, Ryan Mason has to go in.
Yeah. So, and what I wanted to do was I needed it to be a sample size. So these are the last 6 managers that have seen through X amount of games. You can see there. Look at the games played. 199 for Redknapp, 80 for AVB, 293 for Poch, 86 for Jose, 77 for Conte, and 44 so far for Ange. My concern, straight away, yes, absolutely what you said. It goes to demonstrate, and I know right now people will be clipping this shit. They will be going online, calling me negative. I get it, right?
Do it.
But what this can't hide, what this cannot hide, right, is that the number of goals we concede is shocking, right? And you're right. Everyone comes away from games like Newcastle and Leicester, and the only thing they can say is, on another day we score 4. Sure. But scoring isn't the issue, as we can see from the goals for column. The conceding is the issue, right? Again, remember things such as, Jose's a dinosaur, right? In his last 31 games where he had to be sacked because he was dreadful, all of his facts, all of his stats are better than Ange Postecoglou's last 31 games. And I just want to add in there, so are Conte's, and I just want to add in there, right? The difference is still, Conte and Jose right? Conte and Jose, right? Again, sorry, just quickly. Ed, I can't keep explaining this. I picked 31 games because that's when it all started to go wrong for Tottenham. The first 10 games are brilliant. But for me now, and what my mates tell me is, that's a manager bounce. That was a new manager bounce. What we're seeing now, this has been 10 months, by the way, still 10 months. That evidence over that 10 months tells you more than those first 10 games told us, right? But Jose and Antonio Conte, who are negative, right, were negative managers, have one scored more than Ange. One scored just 4 less, but both of them defensively absolutely superior with Eric Dyer, Davinson Sanchez, Emerson Royale, Serge Reguilon, Matt Doherty, Joe Rodon,
Eric Dyer,
Serge
Longley, Ben Davies.
Longley. Right. So I'm just putting this out there. Are we as good as everyone says we are? Because none of the facts actually show we are good.
See, what I find interesting is there's a few people in the comments saying, oh, but those managers had Kane and Son. Right, let's caveat that. Yes, they did. However, Ange has bought 6 forwards.
Yeah.
And we've spent £363 million more than any other manager ever in this club. So he's had more than ample resources to sort that out. He hasn't, because the players we brought in haven't done it. And secondly, yes, Antonio Conte and Poch and Mourinho had Kane and Son, but like Savva just said, look at the defence they had. And didn't one manager have Højbjerg and Skip as the midfield? So I think when you balance
this
it
is
off,
the best one though. Still, look, this is out of context, Billy.
What's out of context?
What's out of context? I can't make up all of this information. I am giving a viewpoint here, Billy, that look what these managers were sacked for. These managers were sacked for better than Ange Postecoglou has done in his last 9 months. So I'm asking the question, when people tell me it's different, it's positive, this new process, what's better? What is better? That's what I don't get.
What do you know what Billy, you need to explain what is out of context. So we can answer. I think as well what's important here is that it's fair to say that we are more front-footed in the last 31 games of Ange than what we are the other managers. However, if that's all it's about, then fans are going to have to accept mediocrity, mid-table and losing because they're going to defend to the hill. But we attack, fine. Then don't cry if we win nothing and drop out the top 6. You cannot complain when that happens. So you need to choose what you want. And if people think, oh, but when Solanke comes back, this will all change. Solanke doesn't fix these defensive stats, people. The defensive stats have got nothing to do with Solanke. 0.
And this is what I like still. When I see people posting videos, I'm not going to mention names. I don't want to mention any names, right? And I've said that, right, on this show. But when I watch people making videos, putting out posts, it's almost as though they haven't bothered to actually go and look at, hang on, is what I'm saying true? Or is this just something I feel? Now, still, I've got nothing wrong with anyone feeling a certain way. I can't control feelings. I'm not trying to. If you and I both watch the same film and I say, well, that was a load of shit, and you say, what are you talking about? That was phenomenal. It don't really bother me whether you liked it or not, right? It don't matter. But when people pass off information as fact when it is not, that is what frustrates me. And look, looking at this, right, guys, the worrying thing here is, by the way, for Conte, Jose, Poch, ADB and Redknapp, you've got to remember, this was the end of their tenure. This, for all these people, this wasn't them mid-tenure like Ange. This was them at the end of their tenure where fans started going, get them out. I'm really worried. This guy's got to go. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to be a hypocrite still. You know I didn't want Conte.
Yeah, we argued about it for a whole year.
Of course we did. Yeah. I wanted Jose. I didn't want Conte, right? Yes, it was time for Pochettino to go when he did, I think, because like the 6-year cycle had kind of run its course. But all of these managers, this is at the end of their tenure. And at the moment, we should be riding a high, shouldn't we? We should be, look at that. 18 games we haven't won out of the last 31.
We've signed 16 players, which is more than Conte, Mourinho, and Villas-Boas. We've spent more money than any other of these managers. For the money we've spent and the number of players we've signed, we should be doing much better, no doubt, especially defensively. But for me, I don't think the defense has got anything to do with players or signings. I think it's to do with the manager's tactical inability to adapt to the Premier League and to the opposition he's playing. And we saw it against Newcastle. That winning goal by Newcastle, we saw about 15 times last season. The difference is when we've got 9 men against Chelsea, that tactic's celebrated. We clap them off the pitch. When it happens against Newcastle, it divides the fan base. Fans don't know what they want, Savva. They don't know what they want when it comes to the way we play.
I agree. But do you know the difference is when I say I want a manager that plays football, better football than Conte, everyone takes that as me going, you got what you wanted. No, hang on. Nowhere did I say I want a manager that comes in and completely neglects defending. Now, look, still, we all know we can go through coaching manuals. We can go through what famous managers have always said that, defensive win you titles, right? Forwards win you games. Defense wins your titles. My concern with all of this still is, and I've said before, there's no need right now to go, sack him. So before people make rebuttal videos saying Savva's screaming Ange out, I'm not. What Savva is screaming still, and I know this because I am that guy, Savva, is he's got to tweak. He has got to adapt because this goals against column is massive. You look at AVBs, look at Harry Redknapp, a guy that played free-flowing forward football, right? Look at his goals against. 31. 31 against.
He got sacked.
And he got sacked for that. He only lost 6, Harry. Right? AVB was vilified. AVB was vilified. Oh, my God, this guy's dreadful. He's got to go. He lost 3 of his last 10 games. And I know that... Go on.
And we sold Modric, Bale, and Van der Vaart under AVB. He lost his 3 best players. In fact, 3 of the best players this club has seen in the last 20 years.
Look, stats don't prove anything. I'm sorry, Paxton. Stats show that we can't defend. And to Stell's point, and this is the first thing I said to Stell backstage, he'll tell you if I'm lying. The first thing I said was, look at the defenses that other managers, not Poch, because Poch in his beginning part of his career built a really great defense. Ange, I'm hearing, has got the best defense we've had for years and years and years and years and years, and is letting in more goals than everyone. If the defenders are so good still, that can only mean it's his tactics. You can't have both, right?
Correct.
Can't have both.
Correct. Fans need to pick. Are the defenders not as good as you've made out, or is this manager's tactics the problem? Therefore, you need to call out the manager. If it's the players, then you need to call them out. If it's the manager, you need to call him out. If it's both, call them all out. But that win rate of 41%, which is shocking for any Big Six club ever, that win rate is purely down to the defensive stats we can see here. Mm. So we can say, but if Solanke was there, we'd take more chances. Fine. Okay. We score more goals. But just look at those defensive stats. He's the worst of all of them. That's what's costing us.
But still, also, let's look at this, right? This can't lie. And by the way, again, I'm going to keep saying this throughout the show. If I wake up tomorrow and Ange is gone, I will not bat an eyelid. Am I sitting here right now saying sack Ange? No. I'm sitting here right now still saying the warning signs are there, right? Your stats are worse than those who got sacked before you. tweak something. You need to tweak something, because we can sit there and say, oh my God, look how many chances you had against Newcastle. Newcastle were poor. I saw, I won't say who. Yeah, I won't say who, but I saw loads of people coming on earlier saying, in a video earlier, they were saying, I've completely lost my trail of thought there. Sorry. They were saying that, if we score more goals, we'll be fine. But scoring more goals doesn't affect the goals we're conceding at the back still. We're still going to be opened up like a can of worms. And my worry is, are the players into this system at the back, or have they given up? Because what I saw from Romero the other day, he looked like he just switched off completely. I'm not having a dig at him. He just looked like he wasn't interested anymore.
Do you know, we discussed that last night on Tottenham away. We did this. We said his body language, is he either not running back because he's just tired because he's having to push up so high because of the way we play. Our defenders push up high, and including him, he presses up quite high, and quite often he supports the midfield in the attack, and he got caught in the transition. Is it because he's just tired, because he's not being told to play like a traditional centre back, or is it laziness? Is he just being lazy? He can't be bothered, or is it a case of he doesn't believe in the system.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't believe in what we're trying to do. There are questions on Romero now. I listen. We had this discussion pre-season, Savva. We all did. We think Romero is going to leave, but most of us agreed if he leaves, it'll be next season. I think next summer he's gone, because I don't think Spurs are winning anything playing like this. And it's the defense that's going to get all the criticism. It's Romero that's going to get the abuse. Dogi's going to get the abuse. Vicario is going to get the abuse. You know, the defenders are going to be the one that get called out the most, and the wide players who fail to put certain crosses in. So Romero's probably going to look at it and say, I've won the World Cup. I've won the Coppa America. I was Italian Defender of the Year in Italy. Do I need this? No. Who wants me? If someone comes for him in the summer, I think he's gone. And maybe the body language does show that. Or, like I said, Savva, he's just knackered because of the way we play. But we won't know until a few more games, maybe a few more months. Then we'll find out eventually. We always do.
Look, by the way, that's not me sitting there. And again, contrary to belief, I like Romero. You know me still. I don't go above and beyond about him like others do, because I still think, like things I saw the other day, like what I saw against Leicester, I still think that the guy just switches off. Top world-class defenders do not switch off. Yeah, very rarely. And definitely not 2 games out of 3 against Leicester and Newcastle, right? When you watch Virgil van Dijk play, right? Virgil van Dijk isn't switching off every 30 seconds. Yeah, he's had some poor moments, but more often than not, you watch Liverpool and Van Dijk's the man, right? Van Dijk is at the back. He is imperious, right? Now, when I look at this, hang on, let's just see what Michael said. Michael said, football here, just playing devil's advocate. Is the league Ange is playing in less polarised than in 2010s? Back then, there were 4 or 5 strong teams. The rest were average. I'm not gonna. I think it's the other way round. But no.
Yeah, but hold on, Michael, to balance that, you could say yes, you might have a point, but we've got more money to spend on players than we've ever had before as a football club, and we're spending more money to compensate that. So if the competition's harder, we're spending more than the competition. So financially, we've got what it takes now to deal with that problem. And you can see it in the spending. And Ange has spent more than any other manager, almost equal with Poch. But Poch was in the job for 5 years. So, it balances. It all balances out, right?
Yeah. And look, again, I think for me, I'm sitting here, and again, I'll repeat this. For me as a fan, I can't talk for you, Stel. I can't talk for everyone in the chat and everyone out there. I need to see this guy adapt. And the excuses that are coming game after game after game after game still are always about what we do in the forward areas. But we've got a defence that shipped loads of goals last year. It shipped loads of goals during pre-season. And during pre-season, we were told that the only reason those goals were shipped was because Van de Ven and Romero weren't there. We've played Leicester City, brand new into the Premier League, and for all the chances we say we could have scored still, Jamie Vardy had the best chance of the game to win it. Do you know what I mean? So we could talk about our chances. What about other teams' chances? And I'm just concerned that the manager, I think he's going to play himself to the sack, if that makes sense. I think he is going to live and die on that hill of defending with a high line and not having a number 6. And I think he's going to get the sack. And then people are going to go mad. Oh my God, Spurs have sacked another manager. But this guy deserves it if he continues down this path.
Yeah, and we're going to get the blame for it. You drove him out. You made Levy want to sack him. You convinced everyone he had. Listen, we'll get the blame as well. We'll get the blame for it. Yeah, I'm convinced, right? And last night I asked the question at the end of the show. I said to everyone, "What's your prediction for the next 8 games?" So there's 5 big Premier League games, a Carabao Cup game, and 2 European games. And I said, "What's your prediction? How do you think it's going to go? And do you think Ange will be here at Christmas and by the end of the year?" 4 said he'll be sacked. No, sorry, 3 said he'll be sacked. He'll be gone by Christmas or he won't make it to the end of the year.
Yeah.
1 said, no, he's here to the end of the season and he'll get next season. And then 2 of us said we're on the fence. And I was the one that was on the fence. And I said it all depends on what he does with the defense. If he doesn't fix it, he's gone. He's gone because teams, we're just going to get into a rut. If he tweaks it and he wakes up to what needs to be fixed, then no, I don't see how he gets sacked because there's enough about us in the attack.
Agreed.
Eventually, I think that I think it will pay dividends eventually. But there's nothing more gut wrenching than scoring 2 goals. Your defense, your attack does its job, but then you concede 3 and you lose. It's like, well, what's the point of this attack? We put our heart and soul into it and we still lose. And that's what happened with Kane and Son. The amount of games they'd score goals and we'd lose or we'd drop points because the defense or whatever mistakes it cost us. So for me, if he doesn't fix the defense, and the stats don't lie. People that hate stats are a representation of facts. Facts aren't made up. They're actual historical events that have occurred that you can't go back in time and change. Like fact, the moon is not made of cheese. They landed on the moon and they tested it. You can't change that. So,
well, look, I mean, one of the key things I want to ask you is why is it that, let's use Jose Mourinho as an example. We can use AVB as an example as well. Why is it those 2 guys were hated so much? Is it purely the Chelsea link? Because everything Jose did was superior to this guy, Estelle, in tougher circumstances with a much weaker squad. This guy, his midfield options still were Winks, Sissoko, Ndombele, Lo Celso and Skip. Now, they're all the players we've just said that are deadwood and are praising Ange for getting rid of. That's what Jose Mourinho had to work with, whilst working with Matt Doherty, Sanchez, Dyer, Rodon, Sessegnon, right? These are the players he worked with, and his stats for his last 30 games, he was hounded out. People hated him. Why? Why is Jose Mourinho hated, but Ange has got this kind of knight in shining armor complex around him?
it's because half the fans didn't want Mourinho in because of his past. And half the fans, a lot of fans just, they want attacking football above anything else. You said to them, low block, pragmatic, turgid football, but you win 1-0 every game and win the league title. Most Spurs fans will say, no, I don't want it. If you said that to Leicester City fans, Brighton fans, even Arsenal fans, they'd all take it. There's no doubt they'd all take it. But at Spurs, we don't value trophies. We value football that entertains us above everything else. And if we haven't got that, we don't want to know, which is why we are the least successful club of the Big Six. And it's why we've had a trophy drought for 16 years and only one trophy in 25 years, because we don't value the ambition of winning trophies above the way it's done. And you often hear it, Savva. You hear people say the Tottenham way. What is the Tottenham way? Because the Tottenham way hasn't worked. I don't want the Tottenham way. I want a new way, right?
But the thing is, wasn't when Jose Mourinho was battering Man United 6-1, wasn't that the Tottenham way?
Well,
when he was battering Southampton 5-2.
When it suits us, right? When it suits us, it's the Tottenham way. When it doesn't work, I think the closest, right? What has triggered us to be like this so incessantly is Pochettino. Poch played some of the best football we've seen at Spurs. Probably the best football we've seen in Premier League Spurs history, maybe on par with Redknapp, maybe better. The old boys I sit with at Spurs, they've been around since the 70s. They say Poch ball was the best they've ever seen at Spurs, like phenomenal. Now, that team was in 2 league title campaigns, got to a Champions League final, a cup final, and 2 semi-finals. Defensively, we were solid. Attacking-wise, we were exciting. So you had great attack, good defense, and we were knocking on the door of success. So we ticked all the boxes except winning the trophy. Now, that's an argument. Is it Levy's fault for not backing Poch? Is it Poch's fault because when he had a chance, he made poor decisions? It could be a combination of both. But I think what fans want is they want what they got with Poch again, because the whole point of this new stadium was so that we could back managers going forward. So then when you get defensive Conte, who wants £70 million players that we're not prepared to spend on, when you get defensive Mourinho, who is a manager who's known for being low block, low defense, spring a counter-attack, have 5 chances all game, and that's it.
Yeah.
Then you get an unproven, unqualified Ryan Mason and a Stellini, who was Conte Mark II, but worse. When you get that, you lose your mind because we were so used to Poch. So when you get Ange, who's got Poch vibes, but not Poch levels, because these stats prove he cannot defend. But if we look at Poch's the running 31 games that he got sacked, well, he only lost. So he only conceded 34 goals, whereas Ange has conceded 53. But the win rate's lower for Poch because he didn't score as many as Ange. So I think what fans
and was in the middle of a Champions League run that got us to the final, and had worse players in midfield.
Yeah, which is fair to say. So I think what fans want is they want Poch, and Ange is the closest thing they've had to Poch since he left. So they're clinging on to that for dear life, hoping that it will become Poch. But the problem is we're not even close to it with the defense. And by the way, the reason I was half listening to you, half not, is because I was doing a bit of analysis in the background. Mikel Arteta, right? His first 31 games had a far better set of stats in terms of he didn't lose the amount of games that Ange lost. Well, so even Arteta's 31 game stats, his first 31 games, are better than Ange's.
Well, look, what we have to take into account is,
and everyone wanted Arteta out.
I mean, look, you will get people saying things like this. You have to say, the football Conte and Jose played was pretty awful. Well, for all the good football apparently that we're seeing, look at their facts compared to Ange Postecoglou's.
So Luke, you've just confirmed what I've said. Mourinho got us to a cup final. Conte got us into the top 4. So, but that we don't want that, because what you've just said is, but look at their football. So you want Ange, who's crashed out of 2 cup competitions in round 1 last season, choked at getting top 4, and after 3 games, we've got 4 points out of 9
Yeah.
Fans
So
would
we
rather
don't want it to be good. But by the way, I don't even think the football we're playing is good. I think a lot of people. I'll come to that in 1 second. I will come to that in 1 second because first of all, I just wanted to say, Matt, I do every night. How lucky am I? Do you know the sad thing though, Matt, about you is you probably don't even have a woman to make moans. So I mean, keep doing what you're doing, and I'll pass my wife on your best and say Matt says hello. But thank you for your comment. Really appreciate that. Sorry, Stel, I find those funny. Stel, when we look at the way Tottenham play, I keep hearing that we play really good football. Now, I don't actually think we do. I think that people are actually confusing having a lot of the football for playing good football. Because what we seem to do is we seem to start playing once we concede a goal. Yeah. Or we need to get a kick up the backside at half time to start playing at all. And that's fine, but that's not a team that Man City play good football. Arsenal play good football. Liverpool play good football. Not sometimes. Those teams go out to play the same football every week. Spurs, for me, are massively hit and miss. Massively hit and miss. And that's where I think we're getting confused as a fan base again is because this guy, to quote Danny, because this guy kicks the ball forward, everyone thinks that we're really entertaining to watch. Do you know who I think finds us entertaining still?
Who?
Neutral fans. Neutral fans find us entertaining because they know we're going to concede goals. They know we're going to score goals and they know it's going to be an end-to-end game. But I want some calm in and amongst the chaos. I want some calm.
They know it's the Wild West. They know it's going to be a 3-3, a 2-2, a 3-2. It's going to have lots of action. Someone's going to win it in the last minute or lose it. I get it. I get it.
Yeah. No, listen, I just want to say as well, on the Jose Mourinho front as well, just some facts for you. So in Jose's tenure as Spurs boss, do you know where he would have been overall of all the games that were played from the first game he came to the last game when he left? Do you know where Spurs would have been on an overall table?
No, tell me.
4th.
Yeah, there you go.
Only the big three got more points than Jose Mourinho in his time at Tottenham Hotspur. Let that sink in. Bearing in mind, he picked us up when we were 14th. Yeah, he got us to a cup final. So in his 58 Premier League games, he was the 4th best manager in the country with the squad he had that was, like we said, the Winkses, the Sissokos, the Dyers, the Sanchez, the Rodons, right? But apparently this is what we want now, and this is what people can see. Look, by the way, guys and girls, smash the likes. I mean, first of all, do you know how long it took me to put this together for you? Smash the likes, people. There's 570 people in it, 146 likes. Let's get that up. Still, I worry. I worry, right? And I'll tell you what worries me is, as I've said, these managers will come into the end of their Tottenham tenure with this form. This manager is not at the end of his Tottenham tenure, as far as I'm aware. He's not going anywhere. I'm not saying he should be sacked. But isn't that worrying that apart from that first 10 games, this is his facts? And I'll ask you, do you know where we'd be in a league table of form if we took out those first 10 games last year?
Bottom half.
9th and a half. Don't ask me how that's worked out. It works out roughly anywhere between
mid-table.
Yeah. Now, this goes to all the people still that go, if you can't see what he's doing, if you can't see what we're building, look how good he is look how good we are compared to when he came in. I'm going to call it right now. Stel, was that just a 10-game manager bounce and we're now seeing that this manager is out of his depth? Or is it somewhere in between, or is he a brilliant manager with poor players? What's going on?
We played most of the teams in the bottom half of the table. We played, I think, only Manchester United
Who were crap last year, by the way.
Yeah. Well, we beat Man United. We drew away at the Emirates.
And I think we beat Liverpool with 9 men.
Yeah, then we had the Liverpool game. We beat 9 men. And so the other games were all bottom half teams. But this is what we've said all along. Against the bottom half, we don't have a problem. We win most of the games. Players that we think aren't very good do really well in those games, like Brennan Johnson, Timo Werner, Richarlison's. Once we play the top half, we collapse. We don't win.
Agreed.
We can't beat them. And I think the Chelsea game was the first kind of big hoo-ha game at home against the top 6 team. And we capitulated and we lost that 4-1. Okay, we're down to 9 men. But then after that, it was just lose away to Villa, then lose at home to Villa, lose at home to West Ham, lose away to Newcastle. We just got picked off, lose away at Brighton. And we lost to the mid-table teams, Wolves, Fulham, who were actually in the top half at that stage. And the same's happened this season. We played Leicester City bottom half, got a draw. We should be beating them. Everton we battered. We expected that because that's the same as last season. As soon as we play a top 10 team, we lose to Newcastle. And I don't want to hear if, but, maybe. We lost to Newcastle.
Always ifs, buts, and maybes. Always.
A loss is a loss. There's a reason you lose. And we lost because, as the stats show you, we can't defend. So I think the first 10 games last season, it's because of the fixtures we played. And let's be honest, we got a bit lucky. A 97th minute winner against Sheffield United. Man United in the first half when we played them at White Hart Lane, they missed 2 unbelievable chances. Bruno Fernandes, they could have easily gone 2-0 up, but they didn't. So that's their loss. At the Emirates, Declan Rice went off injured at half time. It allowed us to get the upper hand in that game, but who cares? That's their problem again. And I think there was another game, Liverpool, when they went down to 9 men. One of those sendings off was shocking. Don't forget, Liverpool went 1-0 up in that game. The worst VAR decision of the season. Diaz's goal got took off. Let's not forget that. So I think it was a combination of we had the rub of the green, and we played a lot of the teams that were in the bottom half. I think if you put a Man City, a Chelsea, a West Ham in that mix, we're not winning. We wouldn't have been top of the table. So,
this is my point.
We did what we had to do, though. We did what we had to do. In games.
But this is my point, right? Someone came into my chat the other day and they said, "Oh, Savva, you were saying nice things about Glasner and Palace in the summer. Oh, it goes to show that last year it was just a new manager bounce." Cool, all right. By the way, I haven't got any skin in the game for Crystal Palace. I don't care, right? But sure. So if that was a new manager bounce, why then all of a sudden, why is Ange's stock so high because of our new manager bounce? Why can our fans not admit, well, it was a manager bounce when we can tell everyone else they had a new manager bounce? Do you see what I mean? Like if you look at Conte's first games for Spurs, manager bounce. Jose's, manager bounce. Harry Redknapp, manager bounce, right? All of these people came in and had that new manager bounce. I don't think Ange's any different. But what tells the truth? Is it 10 games or is it over 30 games? What tells the truth as to what this man... I don't know what he is. He talks a lot. He's got great PR. Everyone seems to be in love with this guy still. Why can't I get on board with him?
It's because you read between the lines. You see things that haven't changed. Last season, he got a free ride. Every manager they should get a free ride in the first season. So now we've started the second season. Have we fixed up defensively? No. We completely lost it at Leicester City as soon as we went 1-0 down. They exploited our defensive vulnerabilities. And if it wasn't for Bentancur getting injured, which slowed down the game, we were screwed. They were on top of us. So you watch that game, you think, hold on, this is what I saw last season. Then you play Everton, you think, oh, actually, no, we're all right. We're all right now. Then you think, well, Everton are in trouble. So then we go to Newcastle and we all said, right, this is the beginning of the test. One attack down the wing, goal. 10 minutes to go, high line, one ball over the top, goal.
Goal.
It's because we haven't seen a change. Defensively, it's the same crap. And then we look at the transfer window and say, right, have things changed in the transfers? We bought 5 kids in Solanke. Nothing's changed. So I'm looking at the transfer window. Nothing's changed. And the manager's saying, I've been backed. It's all my signing.
Yeah.
You're looking at the defence and you're thinking, well, nothing's changed there. The only thing that has changed is we are more dominant in possession in the final third, pushing teams back.
But against the only thing that's
changed.
Right? We've got to see that. We've got to see that when we play Arsenal. We've got to see that when we play Chelsea, Man United, Villa. You know what I mean? We've got to see that.
No, we do. But when's the last time we did that at St James's Park, though? So
cool. But
that was
Newcastle shouldn't be the benchmark. Newcastle, what did they finish outside of Europe last year? This isn't
the 7th or 8th, I think.
Right. Well, it couldn't have been 7th because they're not in the Conference League. So
I think that's because Chelsea came 6th.
Well, let's have a look.
Because Chelsea came 6th, but they got pushed into the Conference League because Man United won the FA Cup, and Man United came 7th.
Fair enough.
But either way, look, they're not in Europe. If
Newcastle finish below us at the benchmark, like it's worrying times. Still, listen, I'm not saying Newcastle's an easy place to go. I said before the game, you heard me say it. I'll take the point. I'll take the draw. It's not that we lost. It's not that we lost still. It's that we do what we keep doing and people still can't understand the issues at Tottenham. All summer we heard he's much better in the second season than the first. He's going to iron out all of these kinks in the midfield and the defence. Well, so far from the 3 games, I haven't seen that. Everton, you can't judge because Everton are woeful and don't attack. But Leicester City, first half, sure. Second half, attack. They figured us out. Newcastle, let's be brutally honest. Newcastle did nothing, right? But knew how to beat Spurs. One ball, quick down the wing. Second one, ball through the middle. Spurs can't cope with it. And yet, we can't admit it. Like, if that manager this summer had gone out and gone, you know what I need? I need a number 6. I've got to have a number 6 that sits. I'm going to drop the defence 10 yards and I'm going to bring in some defensive backup. I'm all for it still. But he didn't buy a single defender this summer that I'm aware of, even as cover, as far as I remember. Not one defender. He's bought 2 kids in midfield. So he's not sorted out midfield at all, one of whom didn't even come on the other day. And up front, he's bought Werner, Odegaard, Yang. Again, either poor players or young players. So when people are saying he'll sort it out, he'll be backed, this is what he does, second season, I need to see it. And can I just quickly, right? I was thinking about this yesterday. I said this to my uncle yesterday, and I said this to the boys in my Spurs WhatsApp group. Now, this is hypothetical. Still, I'm not 15 stone, but just for the purpose of this conversation, pretend I'm 15 stone, right? And I phone you up and I go, Stel, I'm going to lose weight. In 2 years, I'm going to be 12 stone. Or in a year's time, I'm going to be 12 stone, right?
Yeah.
3 months later, you ring me up. Sav, how's it going? Yeah, really, really good. I'm really doing things differently. I'm impressed. Cool. How much weight you lost? I still weigh 15 stone, but I'm doing things differently. All right, cool. 3 to 6 months later, how you doing, Sav? Yeah. I'm much fitter. I'm eating better. But how much do you weigh? I weigh 15 stone still. Cool. How many times until you turn around and go to me, stop chatting shit, you're not losing weight, you're still the same, you haven't changed. And I liken that to Tottenham. Stop telling me we're better up front. Stop telling me we've got a great defence. Stop telling me that all these young midfielders are brilliant, because none of it is happening on the pitch. My eyes don't lie.
Yeah, it's because there's Spurs fans and neutral fans that put out YouTube videos. Spurs look frightening. Their youth is amazing. And like they dramatize it. Everyone gets sucked in. Yeah. Right. They get sucked in and everyone's
Spurs signing Cardoso is genius.
By the way, he came on the other night. 0-0. They brought him on and his team lost 2-0. He had an absolute stinker. Absolute stinker. Michael in the chat, Michael from Poland, you said to me that it was unfair that I compared Arteta's first 31 games, but I didn't compare that to Ange's first 31 games. So I've just done that. Ange lost 13 games in his first 31 games, which includes that 10-game winning streak. In his first 31 games, Ange lost 11 Premier League games and 2 cup games. In Arteta's first 31 games, his losing rate wasn't as bad. So close, but not as bad. So there you go. So if people want to trash on Arteta, say he wasn't good out, Ange is doing worse. But we're talking about win rates, right? Losing rates. Yeah, look, Savva.
By the way, I'm not 15 stone. I'm not.
Fake positivity sells, right? Fake energy, fake positivity, overhyping, just trying to make people feel good. It will always sell, but you are compromising honesty and you are compromising facts when you do that. And this is where you and I get absolute pelters and all sorts of abuse because we're not prepared to sell ourselves short and lie about what we see and what we read. Yeah. I listen. Look, we're both friends with him. Henry is making a career now by just putting out whatever videos sells. And do you know what? Good luck to him. He's smashing it. I personally can't do stuff like that. I haven't got it in me to do it. I haven't got that in me to do it.
I'm not going to listen. Henry's my mate. I'm not going to.
He's my mate too. I speak to him. But
yeah.
What I'm saying is,
yeah, there's a way to listen. It depends. I started my channel, and I guess you did as well. I love talking about Tottenham, but I promised myself what I say will be real, right? What I say will be real. If I think something's brilliant, Stel, I will say that's brilliant. When we signed Mickey van der Ven, I was one of the brilliant. Love that signing because do you know what? It wasn't forced. I felt it. When we signed Timo Werner, and I think it's shit, I will say it's shit, right? Now, I get it. I get the YouTube game. I get it, right? That's not me. That's not my channel. And what I love is still, I got an email today and it was actually addressed to me and you, right? It was addressed to me and you. And I'm not going to name the person. And the person actually turned around and said, look, I get it that you and Stel have to say these things for likes, subscribers and viewers. And you know what my response was?
It's not worth the hate. It's not worth the hate if we lie.
First and foremost, it was one, you don't have to watch, right? First of all, you don't have to watch. To which he came back and said, I'm rude. And I was like, well, I'm just saying you don't have to watch. Second of all, my point was, if I wanted likes, viewers, subscribers, and more money, because let's not pretend no one makes money on YouTube. Do you think I would have gone down this path of being truthful in what I believe? Or do you think I would have just gone mega, mega happy and I'd be sitting here right now on 100,000 subscribers telling everyone we're going to win the league?
Yeah,
they don't get it.
Exactly. You listen, being in denial, being deluded is the best way to make money on YouTube for fan channels. Hands down. Last week, right, and I put it on X, Twitter, whatever it's called, I got a death threat. I had to send it to the police. Do you think it's worth me doing this on purpose to get death threats? Are you out of your mind, people? And I put it on social media because I want people to see this is what really happens, guys. This spreadsheet that Savva's put together, these are facts. You can't change this data. These events have occurred. It's like fact. Man City won the league last season. You can't change that. It's done. Klopp won the Champions League in the 2019 final. He beat Spurs 2-0. Fact. We can't change that, right? These are facts here. And all we're saying is the facts tell us Ange defensively is a clown, right? If he changes it and we start being more defensively savvy and we start winning games or holding on to leads because he makes the kind of defensive changes that we want to see, I will hold up my hands and say, this manager gets it. It took him some time to get there. We had to go round the houses, but you know what? He's arrived. This is what I want from my manager. I'm off his back. Show me what you got now. Can you win a trophy? Because you know how to set up the team that can try and do it. But every week, every game, even Everton got in behind us twice. Everton. Defensively, you can't win a trophy. You can't win a league unless you're good at the back. No team has ever been successful without being defensively capable consistently throughout a season. It's not possible. So this is what we're saying, people. This is what this is trying to show. We're trying to highlight how can people keep defending it when the defense hasn't changed? And we've got the best defenders we've ever had since Poch, we keep hearing.
Yeah, and by the way, this isn't me sitting here going Ange out. This for me is more.
We're saying Ange change. Change.
Ange change, but more than anything for me, this is just to the point that when those people constantly attack, like one thing that gets leveled at me a lot, and I know it gets leveled at you as well. One thing that gets leveled, right, is, but when Spurs win the league, these two, their content won't win anymore because it's all built on negativity. Right. I'll spin that question, right? So first and foremost, two people here that have supported Spurs for 40 years, right? Why would we not want Spurs to win the league? It's ridiculous, right? It's absolutely ridiculous. Second of all, can I spin that to those other channels still and say, all right then, so their channels should be dead in the mud because we don't win leagues?
I'm about to crush this argument. I absolutely annihilate it. Right, just give me 1 second.
I don't get it. I don't understand how
they're desperate for us. They're desperate for us to go away because we speak the truth. We're not scared to speak the truth, and we get massive viewing numbers doing it. And the happy crowd, the fake positivity crowd, they don't know what to do about it because they're scared to actually speak the way we do about the facts, the reality of what's going on, because they're scared they might not be liked. But we're not like that. We don't do it to be liked. We do it because we just want to be honest about, what we see and what goes on at the club.
It's my club. This is my club. I'm not saying it's not anyone else's, but this is my club. Look, first and foremost, still, we didn't know each other when I was on X, but you saw me, I saw you, right? We didn't know each other, right? That's a fact, right? People are saying I'm only saying these things to make money on YouTube. I was saying this for how long on X or Twitter as it was at the time? Like, we've not changed. The difference is, guys and girls, the difference is that now, and I'm going to let you into, I'm sure you all know this already. I'll put that up in 1 second. As long as it's not about another YouTuber.
No. That's all.
Cool. Right. I'll let some of you into a secret, right? It's not really a secret. You all know this. When people say lovely things, they get more views, right? So this notion that we say this to get more views, I know I'm never going to get as many views as other people. I know I'm not going to be invited onto the bigger channels, right? That's fine. I know that when I put an open invitation out to anybody who disagrees, like with this, right? When I put this out there and I say, right, if any Spurs YouTuber wants to come on and refute this and have a sensible debate about it, you're welcome. But do you know what? Whoever I ask, no. If I've asked people to message people for me on X because I'm not on X. Say Savva's asked if you're coming. No. So these are the people that will sit there and slander us still. But when you ask them for, okay, let's have the conversation. Let's have the conversation. No. Do you know what I mean? I just can't understand how the facts are never wanted. And it's not about the facts of 31 games, right? It's not about the facts of 31 games. It's about the facts of this football club. It's about When we lose a game because of a ridiculous goal that we've given away for like the 40th game in a row in the Premier League because of how Ange defends, and people go, but if we scored more, this wouldn't happen. Still, that's the equivalent of me saying, do you know what? I need to fix my bathroom and my kitchen. Do you know what? If I fix my bathroom upstairs, I don't need to worry about downstairs. It doesn't make sense. Scoring more goals, great. You've got to fix the defence. You've got to.
Every strong building is built on a foundation, and the foundation of any team is the ability to defend. Defending wins you titles. You need to be able to defend, and we are incompetent at it. And what Savva was saying about, Savva and Stelios will be finished if you win trophies. You're finished because all you do is spread negativity. Savva, please bring up this screen I want to share. This is the Tottenham away homepage, right? There it goes. Look, Tottenham away. This is our homepage. These are the most popular videos by viewing figures we've ever done. Me at the stadium singing when the Spurs go marching in. Sonny scoring a goal. Iggy doing a video on Dragusin is a good defender. He's happy we've hired him. Me outside the Emirates celebrating a win against Arsenal. Me celebrating the winning goal against Sheffield United. All of these are me celebrating victories and Iggy celebrating good moments at the club, right? My point is this. The most views and the most subscribes we've ever had as a channel at Tottenham Away have got nothing to do with negativity, calling out managers, calling out players. If we became successful, I'm telling you, Tottenham Away would rocket to 100,000 subscribers. So anyone that thinks that, go look at the videos of my channel and tell me which ones land the most. It's the ones when we're winning. I hope that ends that silly conversation.
But it's this notion.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
This notion that, and I'm not naming names. I'm not naming names. But I saw the other day someone posted about me. Right, every time someone talks about me on X, someone sends it to me. Right, I asked them not to. I keep getting sent it, and it said that's Savva dick. That's Savva dick. I like that. That's Savva dick. Right. He's more worried about being right than he is Tottenham winning. Let's put this to bed for anyone who can't understand this. My opinion doesn't change whether Spurs win on the pitch or not. Yeah? Spurs winning the league will have nothing down to me being positive, negative, or neutral. It will have nothing to do with any of you in the chat. It will have nothing to do with Stel, right? It will have to do with Spurs acting like a big club. Now, here's the next bit to this, Stel. If Spurs now start acting like a big club, if we start buying proper players to come in, right, and the manager starts managing the team properly rather than just a kamikaze free-for-all, I sit there as a fan and go, do you know what? Look at that signing, Stel. Do you know what? What great management there. Great in-game management. That was brilliant, right? But that's not happening. So what they want is they want to watch those people on X, on Instagram, on YouTube that just go, oh my God, Odegaard, what a signing, blah, blah, blah. Gray, this is genius. Oh my God, Solanke's the one we wanted, right? That's fine. But when Spurs actually sign a player that excites me, you'll know about it. You'll know about it because I'll sit here and go, yeah, had they have signed Eze, I'd have been sitting there still. You know how much I wanted Eze. I'd be sitting there going, yes, that's what it's about, Tottenham.
I just don't understand this. People claim they ask me stuff, which means they must watch my channel or something. But then they make out that I haven't responded. There's a guy called Old Name, and it links to what you just said. There's a guy called Old Name in the chat. I asked Stel to say who Spurs could sign.
What was this one? Yeah, go on.
There's one earlier. There's one at 7:07 p.m. Apparently, I didn't tell him who I wanted us to sign. Here we go. I didn't tell this. I don't know who this guy is. Fake name, fake image. It's all trolls. He refused to answer. Why would I refuse to answer? I'll tell you now. I wanted Eze, Tony, Kvaratskhelia, Zubamendi, Paulinho. I could roll off names for fun, mate. They're the kind of names I wanted, right? So I've just told you. And then you say that I didn't answer because I wanted to moan. Savva's right. Why the hell do I want to spend my life saying Levy out, Enoch? Why do I want to do that? I don't want to be doing that as a Spurs fan. If Spurs start winning trophies, guys, you won't have to hear me speak again about it. Don't you want that? Don't you want me to shut up? Surely, right? Old name. You want me and Savva to shut up. So here's the thing. Help us fight the cause to win trophies. And then you won't have to hear us again. What can I possibly complain about if we're winning trophies? I'll be so happy. And
off the back of all of that, please do subscribe to the channel. I'm only 48 away from 13,500. Look, guys, girls, look, the reason why I brought those details up, it isn't to just sit here and go, oh my God, Ange is shit. It's to show how much fake positivity there is versus evidence of positivity. I'm all for it, right? There were under Poch, not at the beginning, not at the end, but under Poch, there were times when no one could say anything because we're all sitting there going, what a great team we've built here. Look at these tactics. We were going into games at home against anybody, and I was going, I'm not worried. I'm genuinely not worried. There was no stupid high line. There was no inverting everyone. There was, you know what I mean? There was no crap like Timo Werner, Brennan Johnson. There was no really average kids being bought and then being overhyped. Poch built a team. Yeah, some of it was already here when he got here. I think 6 or 7 of them were already here, but he melded them into a team, and it was great. But then Spurs didn't kick on again. And I'm literally sitting here still wondering what has to happen for the penny to drop, because I get the feeling we could lose the next 10 games. Fans would still find a reason why they want Ange Postecoglou as their manager. It feels like this man can do no wrong, but I want to hold him accountable. He's the one talking about winning trophies still. He's saying he's being backed. So why is it when I hold a man to his word, I'm the enemy? Why? Why can't we just turn around and go, well, hang on, yeah, the manager said this. Savva and Stella said, cool, deliver then. But it's a 5-year project. Like, said who?
Because people forget what's said and they just want to find a stick to beat us with. And I'll give you a great example, Savva, right now, because I'm going to expose him because he deserves to be exposed. And I like the fact these people do these things because I can attack it calmly. Savva, can you please bring up old name 0712?
0712 or 13?
712. I'm about to end this guy's lies and what he says. It's called old name, right? You tell us after the window who I wanted. I'm talking utter crap. Okay. After the window, you said. Savva, please bring up this screen. Just going to end it right here and now. It's not even hard work because I don't lie. This is the Tottenham away page that I run. The date says 27th of July. There's a picture of release day, Tony and Braithwaite. Mate, keep lying. It allows me to expose you for who you really are. Yeah, I list players on the internet deliberately so I can go back to it and say, I told you, I did say this. I do it on purpose so I can catch people like you out. Thank you. Please come again, like, subscribe, follow the channel. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, Mohammed Riyad said the reason why they're calling you out is because you're growing and their views aren't. They're just, listen, I'm not growing anywhere near some of these people.
You're growing. You get massive views.
Listen, I'm not. Listen, it's part time for me.
You get huge views though. You get massive views. People watch.
Yeah, they watch. I get massive views, get massive abuse. But look, all I'm saying is when I'm watching, when I'm being sent things of, oh my God, have you seen what this YouTuber said? And I'm watching a video, and I'm watching someone talk. No, this isn't one person, by the way. Still, this is just a collection of people. I'm watching them talk. You can tell whether they truly believe what they're saying or whether they're saying it for likes. You can tell. You can tell when I talk about this with my passion, I'm not saying this for YouTube. Stell will tell you, we've met each other in real life. My WhatsApp messages to him, I don't suddenly come off air and go, God, look at all these stupid people on the internet. God, Spurs are brilliant. Love Ange. I really don't like what the club are doing. That's real. That's fact. And this is just not true. When you say most people literally talk about our form and how we have to improve, polarized. If I was to, do you know what? Off the back of this show, right? So just to give you an idea, so far this show has had 2,900 views, right? 2,900 views. If you're asking me how I know that, it's because my YouTube studio is telling me that, right? Anyone who's on YouTube knows how it works. Of those 2,900 views, what that means is once this show finishes, anyone that hated anything I said sees it as an open target to just send abuse, to just send, but blah, blah, blah. So this isn't true. Most people don't literally talk about it. Most people who are represented online are actually representing their own channels as well, talking about how great it is and how bad we are for pointing out what needs to change. So
can I give an example of what fake positivity is? Right. I sent you the video as well. I won't call them out because it's Savva's channel. I should think before I speak. I sent Savva a video last week when we sold Lo Celso. A YouTuber made a video saying that Cardoso is going to be better than Rodri at Man City. Right. That is fake positivity. It is insane to say that. The best number 6 in the Premier League and arguably across Europe, international level, club level, we've signed one that's going to be better. How? How is that not fake positivity?
Look, let's change this up for what we want to see, right? Let's change this up for what we want to see. And just before we do, big up to everyone in the chat. I'll get to more comments now that I've brought the spreadsheet down. Look, first of all, Rob Ski has become a YouTube member. Big up, Rob Ski. Really appreciate you. Tell these bums to subscribe as we're only now 44 away from 13,500. Big up to you, Rob. Really appreciate that, my friend. Mafio has said that's actually crazy. I checked Arteta's first 31 games on his first job. 13 wins, 11 losses, 7 defeats, goals 430, goals against 33, goal difference +7. And he's doing a really bad because Arsenal 19-20 was bad. Now, we'll talk about this in a minute. I want to remind me in a second still when I've done the super chats to ask you about Arteta. I don't know why I've said that. There's only one more super chat. It's not like I'm a goldfish. I'm going to remember. Video complete, Sofiane. I always like to think that's said in a really romantic way, like Sofiane. If Ange is sacked, would you take Edin Terzic? Yes. Video complete, Sofiane. I would take you at this stage, as long as you promise to buy a number 6 and actually try and protect a back 4. Still, Terzic?
Savva, do you know what? Honestly, I'm now at a point where I couldn't care less who the manager of Spurs is if we're going to keep buying Odeberts and Johnsons and just lots of kids. Until we start signing the kind of players that genuinely make a difference at the level we want to be, it doesn't matter who the manager is. He'll come in, he'll do better, he'll get us into top 4. Then he'll need a Declan Rice, he'll need an Eze, he'll need a Nico Williams or those types of players to get us to that final destination. He won't get them. He'll get a Danjuma, he'll get another Solanke, and we'll fall off. And then we'll say, right, we need another manager. For me, yes, another manager could do much better defensively with this team. There's no doubt. I think another manager gets us top 4. I think he really does get us top 4. But
I agree.
But I don't want another manager just the top 4. I want a manager who's going to get the kind of players that we haven't seen this club. Let me read that quote that I sent to you, Savva, because I think it sums it up.
Do you want me to put it up?
Have you got it? Yeah, bring it up. I saw this amazing quote today.
I sent it to myself.
I'll read it. I'll read it.
The whole thing.
Right. This Spurs fan, this is what he said. I've supported Spurs for nearly 35 years in times that were good, bad, and mediocre. And we had at least one Spurs player, a kind of player that got you off your seat, had the ability to win a game, outrageous maverick quality. Now, just a bland mash of players that specialize in nothing. And that sums it up. It just sums it up. We've got a group of players that specialise in nothing. We don't have that Ginola. We don't have that Kane. We don't have that Bale. We don't have that prime Son. We don't have that Modric. We don't have that Berbatov. We have got no one like that in this club anymore. So bring in whoever you want as manager, because he's not going to get them players.
Absolutely. By the way, big up to one of my favourites, Chris. How you doing, bro? Love this man so much. And he looks like every sexy Viking that's ever been in Vikings or Last Kingdom or anything. Big up to you, you sexy man, you. Has said, to be fair, I don't even need the stats. The eye test is my common metric, and I honestly don't like what I'm seeing. It's been this way since Chelsea at home last year. Newcastle, Arsenal, City and Liverpool compounded it. Chris, I agree. And listen, Chris, without reading fully what you said in our chat earlier, there was something you said that I thought I really liked that, and I can't remember what it was. Let me just see if I can quickly find it. I think you said, where are you? Yeah, you said, I'm sorry, it hasn't worked for him, but it's a results business, and there is no signs of improvement or adaptation of his tactics. That makes us easy to score against. And again, you can't concede goals. We concede and be successful. It's as simple as that. And I completely agree. So still, I'm going to ask the question that, yes, the transfer window's just shut. How does Ange change this up so that we do not concede these stupid goals against anybody that understands that one ball over the top undoes us?
He either drops the line so it's not on the halfway line when Van der Ven's not there, or even when Van der Ven's there, we still get caught out. So he either drops the high line in certain games, certain moments, or he teaches our players to man mark and he drills it into them. We must man mark and not just be running to random spaces or stand in a line just looking at each other. Or he does something that I was taught 15 years ago, which is instead of having a flat line of four, you have what I call one in, one out. So one's in, one's out. Then the player next to him is forward, back. So it's almost we stand like that, which means instead of being side by side, you're like that. So a through ball, this guy sweeps it. So it's almost like playing with two sweepers in a back four, but once one player's forward, one's back, then the next player's forward, the next one's back. So whichever way the ball comes at an angle, someone can pick it off. It's not bulletproof, but it's better than what we're doing, but you forego playing the offside trap. So it's almost a case of, right, forget the offside trap, let's just stop that ball coming through. So there's three things he could do. And can I be honest with you? If he tried these things and we still failed, I wouldn't blame Ange, because I'd say he's tried it. He's tried to do something different. He's genuinely trying to fix a defense. This is all on the players. They're not good enough. They just can't defend. But he doesn't. We don't try anything different. It's the same thing. Four, flat, no one mark a player, let them stand in between you, one ball over the top, one ball down the middle, the entire team gets wiped out. We're so easy to score against. So easy. He's got to change it. He must change it. Otherwise, it's going to happen again and again and again, and we'll win some games, we'll lose some games, and we'll finish anywhere between 5th and 10th.
Well, look, this is it goes back to when we started the show. We talked about fans wanting to put that back four on a pedestal, right? Adoghi's great, Porro's great, Romero's great, Van der Ven's great. Sure, cool, do it, no problem. But then we're conceding goals at a rate of knots. And somebody put a stat in earlier. I don't know. I haven't verified this for all my facts. I haven't. That apparently his goals per game conceded is the worst of any manager we've had in the Premier League, other than one season, I believe, which was in 1998 or so. Like, it was something really bad, right? Now, you can't. We said this. You can't have it both ways still. Right? So it's either that these defenders are not as good as we think, right? Or that the tactics are playing them all wrong. So I'm going to ask a question to everyone in the chat. Let me know now, which one is it? And you can't say it's, well, you could say it's both, but you can't say it's neither. It has to be something. When we're conceding the goals we're conceding, either the defenders aren't intelligent enough and good enough, or the manager's tactics are poor, or it's a mixture of both. Which ones are you putting it on? So you've either got to say it's the defenders, it's the manager, or it's both. What are you saying, Stel?
I think it's everyone. I think it's Levy. I think it's Lange. I think it's Ange, and I think it's the players. And I'll start from bottom upwards. The players we've overhyped. Pape Sarr is not that guy. He's a workaholic. He's an engine. He's a presence. He can't control a game of football. He can't command and dictate the play. Right? I'm sorry, guys. He's not that guy. Bissouma. I've seen enough again. Another top 10 team we play against, he's all over the place. And these are the proven players. Romero switches off. Udogie gets caught. and if it's not Udogie, it'll be Porro that gets caught. I think just we've overhyped some players, and we just need to calm it down and say, right, they need to show us in the big games what they're actually about. Because every big game we play, any top 10 team we play, our record is shocking. So they've got to take some of the blame. The new signings for me, I'm so underwhelmed. I think Timo Werner comes on the pitch, he does fuck all. Brennan Johnson, I don't care if he can run into empty space. Whoop-he-do. I can run into empty space. He misses his shots. He smashes the ball into empty space when there's no one there. Use your brain. There's no one there. Take a shot or pull it back and square it to someone else. You don't see Man City passing the ball into empty space. Man City find a City shirt. If the City shirt's not there, they don't pass it there. So the players are to blame. The manager, we've spoken about it. Defensively, he's all over the place. He's got to fix it, and he's got to stop talking in the media. I'm sick of this. Oh, I win trophies in my second season. We're going to challenge for the title. I've been back. Well, you need to own that shit now, because if we don't see it, it's on you as well. Lange, he did an interview with Spurs. What a mouthpiece for the club he is.
Oh, God. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing.
It was cringe. We've been after Odebert for ages, a long, long time, since he was in France. Lange, you've only been here 9 months. So clearly it's not you then, is it? You've been looking at Odebert for 3 years. You've been here 1. How's that work out? So clearly the club's doing the signings. And as for Levy, he will always take the blame because he hires the managers. And it doesn't matter what manager we have, Savva. We are not going to do what every big club around us does. And that is, when it comes down to the crunch, are you going to spend 150, 200 million on 3 top players? Are you ever going to do that, Daniel Levy? Because when Arsenal needed Declan Rice, they paid the price. When Liverpool needed Van Dijk and they needed Alisson, they paid the price. When Man City needed Haaland and Grealish, they paid the price. When we want Eze's and we want Kvaratskhelia and we want Ivan Toney's, are we going to pay the price? No, we're not. So Levy, that is on Levy. So Levy, I want him out. Lange, I want him out. Ange, if he doesn't fix up defensively, I want him out. And these players, if they're going to keep flopping in the top 10 games, they can all go as well. Savva, I'm at a point now where I just blame the whole thing. It starts with Levy, though. It starts with Levy because he built all of this.
Yeah.
And I want you out. I want Dan the Hotspur Hood out. I want Brian Daigle out. I want Tottenham Montour out. I want everyone out.
Do you know what I would say, right? Is and look, a lot of people, there's a lot of comments that are saying tactics. Some are saying our defense. Some are saying it's down to the shit midfield. Look, I'll say this. The whole club. Do I think, and we're going to go for another 10 minutes, people, because tonight, 9:30, get over to Spurs Kings TV. I'm going to be on with Deji. So that's going to be truly very interesting. So I will, I've asked Ashmatic if I can stream it to my channel, but it would be better for him if you actually went over there, showed some support, subscribed to him and went that way. So I'll put the link to the chat. I won't live stream it. I'll put the link to the chat in my community page about 10 minutes before, and we'll see. I love Deji, I do, but I just can't wait to have this chat with him about Spurs. Look, for me, I don't think we're great, right? I don't look at any of these players, and like you said earlier, I don't see a Ginola. I don't see a Klinsmann. I don't see a Van der Vaart, a Gareth Bale, a Modric. I don't see these players. But do you know what I do see still? I see a team that is capable of not conceding goals at the rate of knots that we concede them.
Yeah.
I see a team that is capable of scoring more than we do as well, but without all of like everything. It feels like, you know what? When I used to play PlayStation, I used to play Pro Evo. God, I mean, I'm going back years. I don't even know when that was. I had this one mate who played it, right? And you know that mate who's bloody annoying at it because he keeps winning. You know what he's going to do, but you can't stop it. That's what Spurs are without the winning. And what I mean by that is everything is ball out wide, try and pull it back. Ball out wide, try and pull it back. Ball out wide, try and pull it back. It's almost like just attack normally. Just attack normally. Like Sarr, don't rate him, was the only one. The only Maddison had one shot in the second half from 20 yards. He was the only one in the first half saying, you know what, we can't break them down. Let's have a couple of digs. Do you know what I mean? There's no one who can get to the byline and deliver a cross. It's always low, cut back. So for me, I think there's enough there. If you had a proper manager with sensible tactics still, before people go on defensive, sensible tactics, I think there's enough there that we are the fourth best team in the country.
With these defenders,
I think we are with this manager.
With these defenders, we're not conceding all these goals with Conte and Mourinho. Never in a million years. Not with Poch, not with Redknapp. None of them are conceding this many goals. Never. But we might not have as much front-footed to play, which is where fans are going to start moaning and complaining.
Read that.
Interesting fact, Seven Stell, top current forward options cost more than City, Liverpool, and Arsenal. I mean, I know. Listen,
this is crazy. How bad we are in the market as well, aren't we?
And you know what? I'm getting freaking hate, and well, not hate. I'm getting taken the piss out of by my Arsenal friends. You were calling us out. Arteta spent 700 million. You can't blame Levy. Look how much you've spent. And now I'm having to say to them, yeah, but look what we've spent it on. Rubbish. You spent 65 million on Solanke and Richarlison 60 million. I'm like, but you think that's good? You think 120 million on them two is good? You spent 100 million on Declan Rice. He walks over both of those players as a football player. We are never, ever, ever under Daniel Levy going to see us spend 150 million on three top players or two really, the kind of players we think, I want to go and watch this. I want to go and watch them.
No. Because during the summer and all of last season, you and I, the negative ones, we were told you guys will be in the mud when he backs Levy, when Levy backs Ange this summer. You'll be in the mud when he brings in Tony, Eze, Zubamendi, blah, blah, blah. We'll be in the mud. Now that hasn't happened, those people have now all gone into double down mode, is what I call it. And what I mean by that is rather than going, we predicted this great window, we really wanted it, and God, how disappointing. Because if they did that, I'd say, yeah, it was, wasn't it? But what they do is they double down and they start going, but next summer, there's no excuses for it. I hear that every year.
Summer, Ange won't be here.
Well, but so again, I would have more respect for people if they actually just turn around and said, you know what? All right, we signed some kids that look promising, but where's the proper signings, Levy? But they don't. Odegaard. Oh my God, Odegaard is genius. Oh my God, Solanke's the best centre forward there is. It's
okay.
madness.
So Odegaard, after his debut, I made it a big deal of saying to people, I don't understand why everyone thought it was such an amazing, magnificent, wonderful, inspiring debut. I said there was no end product. All his metrics were shocking. Okay, he's got energy. Okay, he wants the ball. He's got a decent first touch. But what did he do? Oh, it's only his first game. Right. I looked at the exact same data for Odegaard against Newcastle. Are you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
It got worse. He got worse. The dribbling rate went down. The shooting went down, and he had, a pretty decent chance that he missed. Mm-hmm. He actually got worse. So I've not seen anything from Odegaard that gives me confidence that he's going to step up against the top 10. I bet you as soon as we go and play Southampton, he'll be man of the match, create one, score one. Odegaard, we told you. They'll forget about his performance against Newcastle, Arsenal, Brighton, West Ham. They'll forget all that. Mm-hmm. Look, Odegaard, Johnson,
listen,
Werner,
I've just been.
These players don't deserve to be at Spurs. They don't deserve to wear the kit.
Don't worry, Galatasaray are playing Spurs in the Europa League. They've just signed Victor Osimhen, so that's going to be interesting.
I'm actually stunned he went there. Like of all the clubs he could have gone to,
he's got no options right now. He's playing. He's going to see out his contract, isn't he? That's what he's doing.
Why didn't he go on loan to Chelsea then?
Because they wouldn't pay him the wages he wanted.
Yeah, well, they've got financial issues, I guess.
But just quickly, I do want to wrap the show up in the next 4 or 5 minutes. But first of all, E1 said, biggest grifter on Spurs YouTube. We see you. Grifter? I don't know what that means.
Grifter is someone that it's like a thief.
Not good, is it?
A con man.
The biggest grifter on YouTube. We see you. I tell you what, I'd be worrying if you couldn't see me for how much I paid for my camera. When the collab with Lee Gunner, I don't know what Lee Gunner's got to do with anything. You are copying his model. What, of being honest about my football club. Hope you enjoy making money on negative. How much money? First of all, what a twat. You've paid me to say, you've paid me.
That's an L.
You paid me.
Right there. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. It's unbelievable.
You paid me to cuss me for making money on YouTube. Do you know what makes me laugh? First of all, E1, right? Other than people like you that put in super chats, you do realise that YouTube is absolutely free for everybody, right? YouTube is free. So when people say, oh, you're stealing people's money, it's free. YouTube pay me. I only get money if people like you I only get extra money if people like you put in super chats.
You enjoy making money on negativity and you've just given him
Jesus Christ.
That's comedy gold. That's the best. You know what? This is the best super chat I've ever seen. It's incredible. Brilliant.
What I love as well, right, is, and big up to Lee. By the way, I speak to Lee away from YouTube. What I love about this is anytime anyone speaks the truth about their club, it's, oh, you're Lee Gunner. Listen, right? Lee Gunner tells his truth about his football club. I tell the truth about mine. No one's copying Lee. I've been talking about football long before I knew who Lee was. It's so weird. These people are so weird.
This guy's the best ever. E1, I actually like you. This is great. Jamie Furman, you say grifter means worker. That's a grafter. A grafter's a worker. Yeah. A grifter. There's the reason I know this is because there's this brilliant show I used to watch on BBC called Grifters, and they would just comment. It was like one of these series. So yeah. Anyway.
Oh, I love it. And by the way, when people say that, I don't know how much money they think YouTube pay us, right? Like I saw someone the other day when they were saying about I put a post about the abuse I got a month ago. And they said, yeah, well, for the 4 to 5 grand a month you make on it, accept it. And I was like, whoa. 4 to 5 grand. I was like, sorry, are YouTube withholding my 4 to 5 grand a month? Like, what's going on there? You gotta... By the way, most of the time you get pennies for shows, and we do it because we love talking about football. Look, by the way, a couple of comments I saw that I wanted to talk about. Lee Smithy Smith, hope you're well, bro. Hope you're well. Said, look, we need to stick with Ange.
Big up, Lee. Big up, brother.
We keep changing managers. We're going to get to know where Sav. Listen, Lee, I agree and I disagree. I agree that we can't keep sacking managers. However, I'm of the opinion that you can't just keep managers if they're not doing well. Because otherwise, what happens? All the top players eventually leave because the club isn't doing well. Look, I get it. It's a double-edged sword. Lee, I'm sitting here now saying, don't sack the man yet, but adapt. He's got to adapt. And his post-match interviews are always about what we're doing up front. He's not taking any accountability for the goals we're conceding. And this comment made me laugh. Big up to my man, Phil COYS. I said, to say Sarr isn't the guy at 19, 20 is premature. He can develop his game. This is why I say reactionary FC. Now, can I pull this sentence apart? I reckon I can. First and foremost, Papa Sarr isn't 19 or 20 anymore. It's not his first season. Papa Sarr's 22 this month. Yeah, I'm not saying that's old, but Papa Sarr's been a professional footballer since he was 16 in the first team of, I want to say, Mets, and he's been playing for Senegal for 3 or 4 years. This isn't a child with no experience. Second of all, of course, he can still develop his game, but I haven't seen anything, like Stel said, I haven't seen anything that makes me go, yeah, Sarr is that guy.
Sarr's 22 next week. He's 22
next week.
Yeah.
So he's not 19. He's 3 years older than that. By the way, big up to Terry O'Shea, always very generous. Said, smash the likes and subscribe, ladies and gents. Great stream, lads. We appreciate it. Thank you. Guys, we're only 38 away from 13,500. Can we possibly get a few more of those in the next 2 minutes while we wrap up? That would be absolutely amazing. When I get to 15K, by the way, I will be giving away 5 football shirts, 5 real football shirts. So that's another 1,500 subscribers away. And please subscribe. Do
you know what it is about Pape Sarr, right? I never said he's rubbish. When I say he's not that guy, I'm comparing him to what... Okay, let me define what that guy means. That guy means Wanyama, Moussa Dembele, Eriksen's. That's what I mean. He's not in that ilk for me. And I don't think he'll be in that ilk. I could be proven wrong. I just don't see it. I look at a Kobe Mainu, who is, 18, 19 at Man United, and I think, freaking hell, he's levels above Pape Sarr. That's what I want to see from a midfielder who's really, really young. You know, that's kind of the caliber that that maybe my ambition, my expectations of what I want at Spurs is too high. But I just feel if we don't have that, how do you ever win a league title? How do you ever win a European trophy without that? Because the rivals we're up against, the ones that are going to beat us to it, they do have those players.
Look, I agree. Absolutely agree with you. It's not that I think Papa Sarr's a bad player. I just think if you want to progress as a football club, he isn't the guy. By the way, just really quickly, I saw this. I thought this was quite funny. The problem you guys are forgetting. I love it when people start a comment with what you're forgetting as though we don't live, breathe and eat Tottenham Hotspur all day, every day. We genuinely can't sign top players anymore. I'm not going to read the rest.
I think he agrees with us.
No, I'm not saying that. But
okay,
when he's saying we are unattractive, I'm going to ask this, Zigzag. We're unattractive because we won't pay the wages. Yeah? We're unattractive because we won't pay the wages. We've spent more money in the last 5 years than Liverpool and Man City, right? But we can't attract what they can because they pay the proper wages. Look, I am going to leave it there. Stel, thanks so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Come on, guys. Can we get... We're literally 32 away from 13,500. Catch me 9:30 tonight on Spurs Kings TV. Myself, Ashmatic, Deji. I'm not sure who else is on. Ash was just trying to get me all excited to have a chat with Deji, who I really like, by the way. I don't agree with anything he says, but I do like him. He's a nice guy. He's never rude to anyone. I've got a lot of time for Deji. Having said that,
I don't think Deji agrees with what he says.
No. He can't believe what he says. But guys, girls, been an absolute pleasure. I'm sure people will be copying my spreadsheet and it will be flying around with no context. But much love. Take care. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, Spurs.